Hi everybody, Jack here. If you haven't listened to the first part of our Story of Spider Day playtest yet, you should really listen to that one, because that's the one where we talk about the background and the rules of how to actually play. This one is much more straight into it. That said, if you want to be really confused, you can do whatever you like. I'm not a cop.
Rude words.
Hello, here we are again. It is time to once again play the Story of Spider Day, the playtest version, which is a D8 game about dying horribly in a losing battle against a giant spider by Tori, Sheldon, and Ruiz. This time playing, we have Chase.
Hello, hello.
Gray.
Hi.
And Reuben.
Hello.
What we do here is we roll for characters, so the characters are randomly generated. So, first of all, we need to roll for heroic demeanor. We'll go down in the order that people are in the Discord call on my end. So let's start with Chase. Can you roll a d8 for your heroic demeanor, please? You rolled a 6. So your heroic demeanor is that you are intellectual.
I just pushed up my glasses, but that's a visual gag. None of you can appreciate it.
It's a good gag, and I like it. Would you like to roll again for your superpower base? That's 8. That means that you get 2 superpowers.
Oh my gosh.
So he's the mightiest of us all.
So you get to roll twice more and you get both results.
It's because I'm such an intellectual.
You get enhanced physical attributes. Super strength, that sort of business. And you also rolled a 2, which means that you also have magical powers. Now you must roll once more for your tragic twist, but this is a secret. Gray, would you roll once for your heroic demeanor, please?
I would love to.
You are serious.
Very serious.
Roll for your superpower base. You rolled a 5, which means that you have alien physiology.
Ooh.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And now secretly roll for your tragic twist. Reuben, would you like to roll for your heroic demeanor, please?
Yes, sure. I will do that now. I got number 3, jokey.
You are jokey. Okay. Your superpower base.
Divine birthright.
Interesting. Now you can roll for your tragic twist. Chase, what is your superhero name?
I am Harry Who Deltoid.
Oh my god, that's magnificent.
A former bodybuilder who turned to magic after they found a passion for it, getting themselves almost magically out of workout equipment.
Gray, what is yours?
So I am going to be my name in my alien language, aka Irish Gaelic, because that's the language that I decided to Google. It's going to be Tromshusiak, but people just call me Trom. I'm from a planet in the Andromeda Galaxy.
Nice.
It's very, very far away. I don't even know that Earth has discovered it yet, so they probably don't have a name for it.
Reuben, what is your superhero name?
I don't know. I got at least time to think about it. Part of me is wanting to just be called, like, I don't know, Christ Part 2, but I feel like maybe that's...
Now, you haven't heard the first session yet, but let me tell you, that's not the most blasphemous idea we've had.
Then that is what I will be going with, Christ Part 2.
But your actual name's like Jerry.
Oh yeah, it's Neil. I've decided his name is Neil.
Neil.
God, it would be.
And yeah, he doesn't tend to. He's too jokey because he doesn't take things seriously. Because like his dad is God, so like, what does he have to worry about?
I will tell you that my 2 primary attacks are that I have incredibly sharp fangs and venomous spit. The 3 of you have been called together as people on the superhero books. There's like a superhero yellow pages in Heavendale. There's that many superheroes around. And the mayor basically left a message on all of your voicemails saying like, yeah, I mean, it's not too urgent or anything, but if you could come downtown, because there is a giant spider and it is going to kill us all. So if you could just sort of come and assist. Love it. Would absolutely love it. So the three of you are downtown. What building are you defending? What key building is this leg of the spider close to?
Roller rink.
I was going to say our favorite donut shop, so...
Oh, yeah, no, that's better. I was just trying to think of something absolutely essential to
Yeah.
city living. But you're right, no donut shop. It's the donut shop.
It's the combination roller rink and donut shop.
Yes, perfect.
Where all of the wheels on the roller skates are decorated with sprinkles.
Yeah, very strong theming.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. It's called Rolls and Holes.
Okay.
Yep, sure.
Sure.
Named by a very well-intentioned person who had just like never come across any lewd content in their life.
Just not
No,
at all,
absolutely not. No, it's just there's always teens outside taking photographs with the sign, and they just don't understand why.
Yeah. It's become a local landmark.
So you are here to protect Rolls and Holes, your favorite building in the entire city. The tagline is Rolls and Holes, go crazy, get glazy.
Yes, absolutely.
You are there downtown outside this building, and in front of you is one giant, horrible spider leg, which does go all the way up to a spider. It's not just on its own.
Oh, that's much more frightening.
How do you begin your assault against this giant spider?
Is everybody safe? Are there any people that are like in immediate danger?
So yeah, I think that Rolls and Holes was full of patrons because it's Wednesday night is Sprinkles night at Rolls and Holes, so it was it's pretty packed in there. So you've got people who, in their panic, are trying to escape, but because they're not thinking straight, they're trying to run whilst wearing roller skates. So they're just sort of not really moving anywhere.
Oh no. Tragic.
Some of them are falling over. You know, you've got just that one person who's really annoying, who's actually skating towards the spider. There's always one person going the wrong way at a roller rink.
Yeah, of course.
You've got various sugar rush panicked roller skate wearing teens to deal with, as well as the giant spider leg.
Christ Part 2. Obviously, like, he's not inside when the spider attacks. He was actually already at Rolls and Holes, taking a photo
cool.
with the sign, as he does almost every day. For the Instagram. He has literally dozens of followers.
The Instagram, which is the same photo of Rolls and Holes every day.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's building a solid brand of content. Yes, he sees he's outside, and he will immediately leap into action in his version of the Batmobile, which is a like bright white and gold painted car that is called the Holy Roller. The license plate, because you know how you get custom license plates?
Yeah.
He got one that he wanted it to say Christ Part 2, but because you have to substitute and things, it just says CRST2, so it says it's Crust 2, which he's not happy about, but he can't do anything about, because even the power of God is nothing against the equivalent of the DMV. So he's going to jump into his car and he's going to start doing donuts.
Of course.
In an attempt to summon like some kind of holy wind to blow the giant spider away.
Okay.
Calling,
I like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, if you could roll 1d8, please.
1d8, yep. Oh, it's not great. I got a 3.
You got a 3. Okay. I got an 8 is the higher of mine.
Oh, boy.
So you start doing donuts outside the donut place.
Yep.
To try and cause this holy tornado.
That was the plan.
But instead, all that you end up doing is creating a huge cloud of burnout smoke, which actually makes the people who are desperately trying to escape from Rolls and Holes just get lost in the holy smoke that you have created.
Oh no!
So now you all that you have succeeded in doing, I'm afraid, is causing more panic.
Okay. But just to be clear, once that Christ Part 2 realizes that that's the kind of mistake he's made, he then gets out of the car and quickly pulls out a vape and pretends that he ripped the cotton just to cover it. He's like, no, this is fine. I was just,
Yes, of course. So you now have these even more panicked roller skating teens. You have a cloud of smoke and still a giant spider leg. The spider leans in really close and just grabs a couple of teens and chomps them right on down.
Oof.
Oh no, not the teens.
You hate
Not
to see
the
it.
teens. You do hate to see it. In fact, let's roll. Do you hate to see it? No, yes, you do hate to see it.
I think with my alien physiology, I would be used to the gravity of my planet, even though I have been living on Earth for a pretty long time.
Yeah.
So I think I've learned how to use Earth's gravity and like the way my body is built, so I can jump really high.
Okay.
So what I want to do is jump from the ground onto the building of the rolls and holes, and then just like jump from the roof to just do like a big kick right to the leg, right to the
Okay.
kneecaps. I want to kneecap the spider.
Oh, dang. Hey, in doing some preparation for this, I found out that spiders do, in fact, have patellas. So that's a thing.
Hey,
Scientifically
Very.
accurate.
Very kickable patellas.
Incredibly kickable patellas. Just the most kickable patellas. Okay, great. Could you give me a roll then, please? 1d8.
woohoo! Yeah.
Oh, dang. Well, I mean, I don't even need to roll that because you rolled an 8, which means that I can't possibly beat it. So what you do is you sort of just lower yourself gently down to the tarmac, and then you spring backwards, do a 4-flip landing on the roof. It looks super cool. Everyone's very impressed. Some people start to applaud. You haven't even done anything particularly useful yet. It just looks really cool. And then you spring from the roof directly onto the spider patella and just deliver a spiders don't have bones, so deliver an exoskeleton shattering kick to the spider patella, and the spider responds to this by lowering down, like, you know, if you kick out someone's leg from under them, they just sort of fall, and in doing so bashes against the newspaper offices, knocking the giant globe off the top, which then lands on the road and starts rolling down towards the seaport.
Now, do we care about the seaport? Is that something we should worry about?
Only you can decide. What I will say is, let's say another one of the spider's legs is over at the seaport, so there's another team over there fighting that leg, so they can deal with that.
Who now also has a globe to deal with.
Yeah, they can. They
their
can
problem now.
probably deal with that when it happens.
I think what Harry Who Deltoid's going to do is
Such
sort
a
of
good name.
sort of jump, tuck, and roll into the middle of the smoke, and they're going to like get down on their back and like with their hands like sort of arch their back so their legs are in the air, and then start bicycle kicking as fast and hard as possible in order to create an updraft and funnel the smoke out of here and into the atmosphere.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
While they're doing it, while they're doing it, they're going to loudly proclaim the physics that allows them to do this, while emphasizing the powerful muscles in their calves and their thighs that are the only thing that lets it be possible to be accomplished.
Okay, you can roll for this, but if you succeed, I expect you to deliver that in character.
Okay, yeah, I think I can do that.
So you rolled a 2 and I rolled a 5. So if you could please mark a failure. So you get down and you start doing the bicycle kick and you start saying what you think is the physics. What do you think Harry Who Deltoid says if he's just getting it completely wrong?
He gets down and he takes a big breath, and already he's like inhaling the smoke, so it's like very choked up, and his eyes are kind of tearing up. So he doesn't get the enunciation that he really wants. So it's more like, well, you see, excuse me, by kicking my legs as fast as possible, the updraft which sends the hotter air around me up into the atmosphere, and the colder air where it's up near space, you understand. Space is very cold down here, and the smoke doesn't like the cold. And then the rest is lost in a hacking coughing fit.
Gray, at this point, you must be wondering what you've done to be lumbered with these two. Reuben.
Yes.
How are you going to attempt to recover from this?
I think the only thing that I can do is I am going to retrieve one of the various holy books that I have in the glove compartment of the holy roller, run out into, like, not obviously the spider is far too massive for me to be anywhere near its head, but I'm just going to look up at the already like lightly broken kneecap. Drawing back my arm with this holy book, I shall say, "Get thee behind me, spider," and then just lob the book at them. But like in a super, like it's gonna, like I throw it and then it suddenly like burns like the sun and like shoots like a meteor right at its leg. Oh, okay, that's a 7.
Okay, so
Bravo.
I got a 4, so that means that you succeed.
Oh, marvelous.
And I mark 1 on my ultimate counter.
Dear God. Okay.
Oh, that's now two on my ultimate counter.
Yep. Building up. So just I throw the holy book, a non-denominational holy book, to be clear, like into the air towards the spider leg. It burns like a second sun in the sky, and a holy chorus of angels descend from heaven and go, "Kobe," and then it just blows a big chunk out of the spider leg.
Okay, yeah, I like this. So you do this, and this flaming spellbook launches towards the spider with this angelic basketball chorus. And there was something though. You shouted, "Get thee behind me, spider!" Mm-hmm. And so what happens is, as soon as this spellbook explodes on the leg, the spider disappears.
I did it! I'm the best!
And then behind you, you hear absolute bedlam as the spider reappears behind you, which now suddenly means that all of the other superhero teams are in completely the wrong place. And you do hear from down the street, Where's it gone? It's over there. Oh, there's a globe! And then the people at the waterfront are suddenly bowled into the sea by this giant globe.
The globe. I didn't expect that to succeed, and I sort of suspect in his heart of hearts, Christ Part 2 didn't expect that to succeed either. So I think he takes a moment to pray, and by pray I mean dab.
The spider is incredibly disoriented, seeing as only one of its legs is in the same place that it was a minute ago. And it just rears up with 4 of its legs in the air and just spits venom across half the town.
I feel like Trom would see Harry who Deltoids lying on the ground with his legs in the air and hear him babbling about how cold space is and all of these facts. I put air quotes around facts. And I think that they would just think, I have to get them as far away from me as possible. So I would think Trom would just grab Harry's ankles and just chuck him at the spider. And I would hope that Harry would do the classic Superman pose and just punch the spider leg.
Okay.
So can we do
this.
a combo attack?
Like a team up, yeah. Okay. Well, so first of all, then let's get you to roll for leaping down, grabbing Harry, and just swinging this bizarre magician at the spider. Okay, so you rolled a 4, I rolled an 8. So if you could mark a failure for me, please, Gray. That's your first, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Nice. So
tell me how I kill Harry who Deltoids.
So I think what happens is you leap down and you attempt to grab Harry's ankles, but Harry is just furiously bicycle kicking away and burbling about space and heat. and just repeatedly kicks you in the face as you try and grab these angles, and you just can't get purchase, and every time you try and get close, it just hurts your nose a little more.
These things are registered weapons in several states.
I'm just imagining Trom just like, you need to relax, ow. You need to, will you relax, ow. Will you relax, ow.
So Harry finally I guess gets the message and rolls out of the smoke and clears his eyes and sees that the spider is in a different position. And so what he thinks he needs to do is he needs to get some height. So he's going to try to get up to the spider and grapple the spider leg for some up close punchy action. But to do that, what he does is he flexes his shirt, which is one of those tuxedo t-shirts, very skin tight tuxedo t-shirts. It does have a little bit of frill lining stitched onto the collar. And he flexes really hard and the t-shirt rips down the middle and doves fly out. A cloud of doves, and there's strings attached to him like a bunch of balloons, and he just holds on as the doves just fly him up in the air towards the spider.
Okay. Okay. Oh, it is equal, which means that you succeed.
Yes.
So I was not expecting that. So I mark a failure, and so you stop bicycle kicking, you slowly rise to your feet, you get this really determined look on your face, and you just sort of you just Hulk Hogan, and these doves just fly out. Nobody knows where they were. It doesn't matter. And they lift you soaring into the air. This does not follow physics in any way. But it doesn't matter because you're magic. So you are currently in the air. The spider is eyeing you with one of its many. But you haven't attacked it yet, so it will continue attempting to chow down on the panicked teens.
So I have a question generally related to the layout of the city. Obviously, I did move the spider, so I've changed the terrain a little bit. How far are we all currently from the city's, it probably presumably has a cathedral or a really big church, its largest place of communal worship? Close enough I could get to? I got a car.
Next door to Rolls and Holes, you've got the combination. Oh God! So next door to Rolls and Holes, you've got the combination chapel and turf store Gods and Sods.
Okay, cool. Yep. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run in there. Now, this is a thing that some of our listeners from the American continent may not be aware, but Jack, you probably know this as a British person, that all British churches can, in times of crisis, be converted into a giant mecha suit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run into what was it called again, sorry?
Gods and Sods.
Gods and Sods. I'm going to run in there and using my divine birthright powers, activate my latent abilities and bring the building to life as a giant Pacific Rim anime-style robot to fight the giant spider leg. Obviously not the whole giant spider, it's not that big a church, but just the leg. I'm just going to turn into a big robot and do a punch right on the shin.
Oh, phenomenal. Okay, yeah. So
see, it's not just jokes here. We do facts here at Autosave as well.
Okay, give me a roll.
Okay. I got a 7 again.
I also got a 7, which means that you succeed.
Yes.
So you run into Gods and Sods, and the priest. There is a priest inside, just going
priest manager.
Who the hell do you think you are? Because he's from somewhere.
Yeah. And then I point at the big stained glass window, and I just point at it, and then I point at me, and then I point at it, and he's like, nice.
What do you need?
Well, Father Mario, I need you to It's time to do the big robot plan. And he knows what that means.
And and you move and stand in the pulpit, which lowers down into the ground, and from outside, Gray, you are knocked from your feet as the building starts to move from the sky. Harry, you just see the building rise up, much like a gamer. And
oh no! Oh, what have I done?
And suddenly, stood in front of you is a giant holy mecha, which lands as it reaches up from the ground. It lands a giant stone fist on the spider leg, and the spider. Spiders don't really make a noise,
No, but yeah.
but it sort of goes, as they do. So, Trom, you have been knocked off your feet by a giant church golem.
This is fine. This is about what I expected from today. I'd imagine there's like a sign for the rolls and holes, right?
Oh yeah, like it's a giant wheel donut.
I think I'm gonna do another like super jump, but I want to do it like I jump and then kick the sign so it falls over onto the spider leg and like hits it. And at the same time, like obviously it's gonna break and fall. I would like to turn to Christ Part 2 and just gesture to it and like gesture to the mech as like, it's a weapon now.
So basically you are trying to knock the rolls and holes sign down so that the giant church mech can use it as a weapon.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
I would like it to hit the spider, but then also I feel like he just needs some help.
Bounce off the spider directly into the hand of the church mecha.
Yes. Oh, well, not great.
Oh, that's a 1 versus an 8. So
oh, no.
I think what happens is you leap up and you just deliver a really solid punch to the rolls and holes sign. But the owner knows how this goes. The owner has prepared for this, and the rolls and holes sign is so heavily reinforced that all you succeed in doing is just clattering into it with great speed, and falling back down to the ground. And some of the teens, some of the more wise teens who are fully aware of the history of rolls and holes, just have a little bit of a knowing chuckle.
Yep, and I give the teens a disapproving glare as they laugh at me.
They don't
appreciate being laughed at.
You know, this would have gone a lot better for you if before you crashed into it, you would have said, back at it again, it rolls and holes.
You're right.
Then you would have knocked that sign clean off.
I would have gotten advantage.
Chase, you are up in the air, suspended by doves, next to a giant stone church mech.
Am I at an altitude where I could like maybe bounce or like vault off a part of the mech towards the spider's leg in order to gain a little bit of momentum?
You tell me. What do you want to do?
Yeah, so I think that's what I do. Is I like I bid the doves farewell. I thank them for their service with a small coup.
Okay.
And then I like tuck and roll as I like a sort of like cannonball towards part of the mech. I land softly and like vault off, trying to maintain as much momentum as possible. I have calculated the parabolic sort of like maneuver that I need to do, where I will land towards like the weak point of the patella of the spider. where Trom hit it before. I'm going to do some impact there. Actually, I'm going to do some low impact exercise because as I'm vaulting, I pull a bicycle out from my sleeve, mount this bicycle, and aim one of the wheels towards the patella. And I start cycling as fast as I can, which does, in fact, though there's no ground beneath me, speed me towards the spider. And like an arrow loosed from a bicycle bow, I draw close, and as I do, I shout out and I say, "Low impact, nay, you antagonistic Aranai, maximum impact." And then I crash into the spider's patella. Come on.
So
So that's a 5 for you, a 6 for me. So I think that that's a pretty close roll. So I think that almost everything that you say happens. So like you let go of the doves, you land perfectly on the stone golem, you spring back into the air, you pull out the bike, you get on it, and you start speeding more and more towards the spider. But I think as you are on your bike moving towards the spider, I think that the chain comes off.
Oh, damn it.
I think that the chain comes off and gets sort of caught in the back wheel, which flings you from the bike, which somehow remains completely stationary in midair. If you want the friction that speeds you up, you're going to have to deal with the one that slows you down too.
It's just physics.
It is just physics. And it flings you directly at the spider, and you do hit the spider leg, but you hit it face first. And you're going to need to mark your second failure for me, please.
That is a second failure marked.
Reuben, you've just seen both of your teammates utterly faceplant into things.
Yes, it's not going great at the moment.
What is your move?
I think my move now is going to be, I'm going to try and, the people presumably are still fleeing, but now in a different direction to where they were fleeing before.
Yes, except for that one person who now has turned back again.
Yeah. So that person, I'm going to attempt to shield them and all the people by creating a barrier around this spider leg so that it can't knock into any buildings or hit any more civilians.
Okay.
I'm going to do that. Again, in stretching the limits of things I remember from high school RE class. I'm going to attempt to duplicate the 5,000 loaves and fishes. But instead, what I'm going to do is use one of Rolls and Hole's signature tuna fish donuts. They are inexplicably popular, but it contains both bread and fish. And I'm going to attempt to divinely create.
Don't forget the sweet corn sprinkles. It is sprinkle day.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm not an animal. I attempt to summon like a torrent of these from the heavens to kind of like bury the spider leg, like pack it in place so it can't move. To give my colleagues a chance to recover. I got an 8.
Oh, dang. Okay. So,
I'm not failing as much as I was hoping.
I mean, I also got an 8, but
okay.
It doesn't matter. On a tie, you win. So you're just like, this ends here, and the skies, like the clouds, part.
I'm not that serious, though. I'm a jokey. If I was an edgy or a serious hero, I'd probably say that. But instead what I do is I take a very battered tuna fish donut from my pocket, get out my phone, take a selfie, and then upload it with the hashtag back at it again to the Rolls and Holes. And I take a bite and the heavens open.
Okay. So the heavens open and just millions upon millions of tuna fish donuts come pouring from the sky around the spider leg, just creating this massive pile of food that the spider leg becomes wedged in. Not just the spider leg, though. Also Harry. Harry, who deltoid, is now buried underneath a giant pile of tuna fish donuts. However, will Harry, who deltoid, escape?
Tune in next time.
Gray, you managed to get back to your feet, and it is now once again your turn to move against the spider.
So, as Trom stands, and they're looking around at all the frightened teens. I think they turn, and in the crowd, maybe still like trapped kind of in the roller rink / donut shop, they see their son is in there.
Oh my gosh.
Is there.
Oh.
And so Trom sees that Harry is out of commission at the moment. So they turn to Christ Part 2. And I guess if you're in the mech, I kind of just like gesture you down, like lean in close.
Yeah, I'm always down.
And I just say, my son just got into college. He got accepted into his dream school. We need to defeat this spider, or he'll never be able to fulfill his true dream of writing the great American novel. I'm not entirely sure what that means yet, but he's going to figure it out and tell me. So I need you.
Yes, of course, the unfortunate disconnect that you always get between second generation alien immigrants and the originals.
Exactly.
So what has happened here is that Trom has just revealed their tragic twist is that their son has just got into college, and should Trom perish in this battle, they will never get to see their son reach their true potential. Now, what that means is because you have revealed your tragic twist, you get an automatic success on your next action. So what would you like to do?
So I'm going to ask, I also would like to say that his dream school is the college, the local college / modeling agency called Books and Looks.
Yes, good.
So I'd say to Christ Part 2, I need you to, I believe the correct word is yeet me into the spider, and I will punch it very hard.
Word up. Praise be. Yeah, I will assist with this yeet maneuver.
Praise Kobe.
Praise Kobe.
Oh my gosh.
God of hoops and beef.
That's the shop basketball and market stall. Okay, so you ask the living church to yeet you towards the spider, and it does so, and the aim is true, and your power is pure, and you just land just a devastating blow on this trapped spider leg in amongst all of these horrific donuts. And the spider's looking pretty rough. You're doing a pretty good job. Like it's not feeling great about this leg right now. So it sort of looks around, just in rage, really, more than anything else, and uses its incredibly razor sharp fangs to just take a huge bite out of this pile of donuts, leaving behind just this sizzling sheen of incredibly venomous venom, I guess.
Yeah, no,
that tracks.
Which begins to seep down through the donuts towards Harry.
Mm.
Oh no.
Harry notices that he could see like the sizzle above him as like this venom eats its way down, and he believes that it's the end for him. That there's no way out of this. And then his cell phone rings, and he picks it up and he says, "Hello," and it's his coworker Hannah from the local both workout and magic school, Dumbbells and Spells. And Hannah says, "Hey Harry, if this isn't a good time, I can call back." And Harry's like, "No, please. What's going on?" And Hannah says, "Well, I just wanted to let you know you've gotten an award at the at Dumbbells and Spells. Yeah, you're the most improved this month." And his heart leaps in his chest. The most improved award goes out once a month to that person, whether they be the magician or the athlete, that has improved the most over the last month. And by God, Harry has excelled in both areas of his life. This award is his and his alone. And he says, a little choked up, "Thank you, Hannah." And he puts his phone back in his pocket, and he knows this is not the end. He pulls out his bodybuilding oil when which he uses when he goes to shows, and he coats his body in it. A special property about this magical body oil is that it repels most toxic substances. So, safe now from the venom, he dolphin kicks his way through the remaining pile of donuts, breaks the surface like a whale from the ocean, and then with a fist outstretched, punches the side of the spider's leg with a resounding crack.
Okay, amazing. So that was the tragic twist of Harry Who Deltoid, is that they've just been nominated for an award. Or just received an award. I love this town that we're creating.
It's so good.
This combination town and city.
Real estate's expensive out here, y'all.
You gotta fill a niche. That's how it is.
Absolutely.
Gray and Chase, you both find yourself now just absolutely wailing on this spider leg. But as you are doing so, the sky goes dark. And you look up, and the shadow that has been cast over you, blocking out the sun, is 4 million seagulls. And all they want is 1 billion tuna fish donuts.
Oh, no.
What have I done?
So now you are contending with a spider leg in front of you and just ravenous pecking birds from above. You're doing pretty well, so I need to introduce more danger.
It's at this point, realizing that his arrogance and folly has led to a significant amount of seagull-based ruin for the town of Heavendale. Christ Part 2 is at his lowest ebb. His normal jokey demeanor has shifted, and he's sitting in the cockpit / pulpit, which instinct made me want to call a cock pulp, but I thought better of it. He sat there, just slumped at the controls, head in his hands, and then his phone rings, and without even his normal verve, he answers it and says, "Yo, go for Christ Part 2." And then,
as you do.
As he always does whenever he answers his phone. He also has one of those voicemail messages where he pretends that he's picked up the phone for a good 30 seconds and he's like, "Hey,
of course he does."
Yeah, he's unbearable. But actually, it's not. The phone call is from the publisher of the novel that he just sold the week before, and his demeanor changes. The story. He's written a book of children's stories. The title of it is Happy Duck Goes to Church and Other Biblical Tales by Christ Part 2. And he's just sold this novel, and the publisher's ringing to confirm that everything's going ahead and that the book will be on shelves within 18 months. And he's so delighted by this, reaffirmed his faith in the Lord and also himself, that he has the presence of mind to activate the inbuilt Church Mecca's bench cannon to repel the seagulls. And as he fires it, it goes pew, 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 pew.
Tom, I love it. Oh my gosh.
He blasts away the seagulls, clearing a path for his friends to get back in the action. So I have revealed my tragic twist.
Oh, absolutely phenomenal. Okay.
Yep, so that's happened.
So you have now all revealed your tragic twist.
Uh-huh.
That means that the giant spider has failed 8 times.
Yes. Is 8 good?
It's one for everyone.
So, not from that tone.
You everything goes quiet for a moment. The pews hit the seagulls, which is terribly bad for animal rights, but really useful for the heroes. So, it's up and down. But everything in this particular area around this leg Goes quiet for a moment. And then you start to realize that around the city, around all of the other legs, it's gone quiet as well. The spider is completely still. And then its eyes start to glow, all 8 of them, and a terrifying, searing beam shoots out from the eyes and completely obliterates Rolls and Holes.
Oh
No.
I left
All
my
there
vape
is-
in there.
All there is left is just a crater, and this laser beam from all of these spider eyes just moves up the street, leaving a trench in its wake. And now it turns to each of you in turn. And rather than using one giant laser beam this time, it shoots tiny little laser beams from each eye at all of you. So, when you have fully marked your ultimate counter, reveal your super secret ultimate attack and use it to destroy a significant building or landmark. Bye-bye, Rolls and Holes. All remaining players must mark an automatic failure when you turn your ultimate attack on them.
Oh no.
Which means all 3 of you must now mark a failure. Now, that means that Chase and Gray are both at 3. Which means, let's go in order. Chase, what happens to Harry Hoodeltoid? How does Harry Hoodeltoid depart this plane? I remind you of the rule: when you mark your 3rd failure, describe your devastating but heroic demise at the legs of the spider. Be as dramatic as you can manage, and be sure to leave massive destruction.
One of the lasers pierces Harry's abdomen, and he knows that it's a mortal blow. And so what he does is he saves that last trick that all great magicians do have, the real stage burner, and he pulls out lengths and lengths of jump ropes from his fanny pack, and he binds himself in these jump ropes. And as he does, he pushes off from the leg of the spider, and very quietly to himself, where no one else could hear, he says, "Now watch very closely. You'll only see this but once." And in a flash of light, he disappears. And when he reappears, the jump ropes are bound around the leg of the spider, and his body lies prone and dead at the feet of the leg. But those jump ropes start to sizzle and burn as they tighten around the leg of the spider, cutting into its flesh and leaving nothing but darkened matter behind as they just pull inward and inward, tighter and tighter, lighting up, glowing brighter than the sun.
That's very cool. But it also just reminds me of the drill tweet, which is I rev my motorcycle and there is a huge cloud of smoke, and when it clears, I am dead on the pavement.
That's basically how Harry goes out. Ignoble in the end.
But okay. Now, Gray, what happens to Trom?
So, Trom gets hit by 2 or 3 of the lasers, and falls back again. And they've just watched the Rolls and Holes be destroyed, and the world is fading around them and everything's going dark, and then out of the wreckage they see their son coming out, and he's okay, and he's running. He runs to Trom, and with Trom's last dying breath, they just say, "Dedicate the novel to me and never forget." And now the thing about Trom's alien race is that when they die, even if it's of natural causes, they actually explode and their blood is venomous. So obviously Trom's son knows this and gets away and gets to cover after promising to dedicate the novel to their parent. And with just the last of the strength, Trom crawls as close to the leg as they can. And then, one final sigh. And then, and all the venomous blood just splatters onto the spider's leg, just burning it along with the jump ropes. left over by Harry who deltoid.
Damn.
Okay.
Oh, my homies. My homies, no.
You have no homies then now.
That's true. The homies
okay.
belong to them.
So you have this severely wounded spider leg directly in front of you. I think some of the explosion from Trom's demise did a little bit of damage to one of the legs of the mech.
Yep, it's going down.
It's going down. So what do you do?
There's only one thing to do. I eject from the pilot's seat. I climb out onto the exterior of the mech, onto like the top of the steeple that is like the head of the mech, to get as close to the giant spider as possible. And then looking down at my two recently deceased friends, I do the only thing I can do, which is, in the words of Drill, turn to face God and walk backwards into hell. I'm going to attempt to rapture the spider, if at all possible.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to clasp my hands and prayer and attempt to maybe not the whole spider, just this one leg, drag it up into the heavens and away from the city.
Okay.
So my friend's sacrifice was not in vain.
Now, because you revealed your tragic twist already, you must now roll 2d8 and take the lower roll.
I must indeed. So 3.
Oh, and I rolled a 2 and a 7, so it's a 7.
So I fail.
So you are concentrating super hard, trying to rapture this one, just one spider leg.
Yeah. It's a very
Away.
big spider.
What happens?
So I think it starts going quite well. Like the leg starts to, like the heavenly light glows in the clouds above, and they start to part. You can see the pearly gates in the sky, and the leg starts to like be pulled upwards. But then there comes a point where Christ Part 2 realizes that this leg is just too big. This spider is too massive to be accepted into the gates of heaven. And so they realize that this effect isn't going to work. Eventually, the spider leg is going to come crashing down. And so they do the only thing they can do is maneuver the leg so that when it comes back down, crushing and utterly destroying the entire district that it lands on, there is only the destroyed wreckage of rolls and holes and Christ Part 2 inside the gods and sods church mecca that will be destroyed. And they just roll a single tear and they just say, A, LMFAO. And then...
Oh my god.
Congratulations, you played yourself. Okay, so with that, all three of you have departed Heavendale. I was going to say on your own terms. I don't really think that's true. But you have departed Heavendale. But this spider, all over the town, across all of the 8 legs, this spider has defeated every hero which has stood in its way. So it takes its seven sort of functional legs and its one crippled leg, and it starts moving towards the hospital. The one place where it knows, I don't know how, it's clever, it's big. But the one place where it knows that nothing can possibly get away. And it slowly moves across the town, slowed down by the one leg that you have so severely damaged. And right as it reaches the hospital and the people inside are staring up with terror at this giant spider, right as it moves to tear the roof off the hospital, it senses something. And behind it appears its one true nemesis. A second, larger spider.
Oh my god.
And that's
Of
it.
course.
That's the story of Spider Day, everybody.
Oh, wonderful.
This game is just so much fun. Thank you.
Delightful.
Thank you so much to Tori and to Joel for letting us play test it in such a sort of public way. We mentioned in the other session, but the story of Spider Day is based on a joke from the podcast Critical Bits. which is a TTRPG podcast using the Masks system. It's very funny. It's also full of body horror. So you're either going to be really into it or just absolutely distressed by it. I'm kind of both, which is fun.
It's very much the tuna donut of podcasts.
Yes, absolutely. We are releasing this on Spider Day, April the 17th. Across the Easter weekend, the 20th and 21st, there are going to be Spider Day charity streams in order to benefit Covenant House, Georgia. I will be appearing in 2 games of that. Rebecca will be appearing in 2 games of that as well. There is also a charity T-shirt that you can buy for the annual Spider Day Memorial Fun Run that was designed by our very own Rebecca and Tori, who designed this game as well. So if you want to have some ridiculous RPG based fun and also raise some money for charity, come and join us on those streams. But for now, I will say thank you for joining us for this. Thank you to Chase.
Yeah. you're welcome.
Thank you to Gray.
Thank you.
And thank you to Reuben.
You're all very welcome.
Man, we're good at this.
So good at dying.
This has been Halo Reach, the spider version. We will see you again.